Hi guys, it's Jen. Welcome to another 50s Plus class. Today we're going to be doing a mixture of strength and conditioning. A mat would be very useful, a towel and your water bottle. And if you can grab a chair or a bench or like an ottoman or something that you've got at home, something easy, or even a box that you've got, but make sure the box is stable because you will need to be able to sit down on it and also use it for some push-ups. If you've also got some hand weights, they would be very useful. If you haven't got any hand weights, don't worry. Go and grab yourself a couple of tins of beans or chickpeas or anything like that. Just something you can hold in your hands. If you haven't got anything like that, then please don't worry. If you haven't got a chair, then again, don't worry. I'll give you an alternative when we're going through that. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to get ready. So go and grab all the stuff that you need, and then I'll be back with you. Thank you very much. Right, let's get started. So we're going to do a warm-up. It's going to take you about 10 minutes. We've got 4 exercises and we're going to work through them 2 times through. So the first exercise is a marching exercise. We're just looking to get our heart rate up so we can use our arms and our feet. Don't worry about how high your knees come up in front. That's absolutely fine. You do you. It's all good. So we've got another 30 seconds. Like I said, it's just the warm-up. We're just looking at increasing our heart rate. Okay, another 15 seconds. Nearly there. Okay, we're now going to move into a toe touch with a twist. So I want you to go nice and wide on your feet. We're going to take your right arm and you're going to rotate down and touch your left foot. And we're just going to, you can bend your knees if it helps you reach down a little bit further. That's okay. If you can't touch your knees, then that's absolutely fine. We can come down to the shin or just the opposite knee is absolutely fine. But if you can, try and feel that stretch down the back of the legs. And as I said, it is a warm-up, so nice and gentle. Lots of deep breaths. Another 20 seconds. Okay, we're going to carefully come out of that one. We're going to do a step back and reach. So I'll do it from the side so you can see what I'm doing. So as I step back, I'm then going to reach forward with the hands and I'm going to come back together, step back. Don't have to step too far if that's not for you today. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, then just make that step a little bit wider. Another 15 seconds, keep it going. So as I said before, we're just spending a minute on every exercise. There's 4 of them and we're going to work through 2 times. Nice and gentle. Okay, so we've got our next exercise. We're going to bring our arms up into a 90 degrees So elbows are in 90 degrees, and then I'm going to push them up over the head. Bring that down into 90 degrees, up over the head. So nice deep breaths in, up over the head, and back down again. Make sure your feet are stacked underneath your hips. Another 30 seconds. If I turn around and you can see me from behind, we're going up, just coming down to 90 degrees either side, and then pushing back up again. Okay, another 10 seconds. And then we're going to work our way back through those 4 exercises. Okay. Bring your arms down, give them a little shake out. We're going to go back into our marching, okay? And now we're going to just try and pick those knees up a little bit further than we did last time. And we'll go a little bit quicker as we move through our warm-up. Just a little step one by one. Get those arms going. We've got another 30 seconds. "20 seconds. Keep it going. 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so remember we did our toe touches, so we go a little bit wider on my feet, and I'm going to take my opposite hand and I reach down to my opposite foot. And as I said before, if that's your shin, then that's okay. If that's the knee, then that's okay as well. Just a little movement. See if you can feel a nice stretch down the back of the legs. Keep the knees soft. Try not to bend them too much. And push the hips back to allow for the movement forward. "15 seconds. Keep it going. Okay, carefully bring yourself out of that one. We've got our step back and reach. So remember with this one, as I step the foot back, I reach forward with the hands. Just a little step. Hands come up in between. So I'm not only warming up the upper body, I'm also warming up the lower as well. You don't have to keep up with me if the pace is too much. It's just more important that you consistently move through that minute to get everything warmed up. Little step back. You could just do arms if it's too much on the legs, and that's okay as well. Another 10 seconds. Okay, so finally we've got our 90 degrees with our arms. So if I hold my arms up to the side, I'm bent at the elbows, 90 degrees, and then I'm pushing up over the head. Just coming back down to those 90 degrees. I'm not coming any further lower than that. And then just pushing up over the head. Just making sure those shoulders are nicely warmed. So just down. So the top upper arm is parallel with the floor. Another 25 seconds. Keep it going. Okay, 6 seconds. Okay, fantastic. Okay, that's your warm-up done. So take a little breather for a second, use your towel, take a drink of water. As I said, you're going to need a chair and maybe potentially some hand weights or some cans or anything that you can grab hold of that's got a little bit of weight to it, and something you can safely hold. And I'll be back with you in 1 minute. Okay, let's get on with the main workout today. So the first part of the main workout, we're going to be working through 3 exercises and we're going to do 4 rounds. It's 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest. So you work to the level that you feel like today, so you can push yourself a little bit harder if you want, and we can progress and regress all of the exercises. So the first exercise is going to be a bicep curl to press. So grab the weights, the tins of beans or whatever you've got in your hands, and if you haven't got any weights then please don't worry, just work through the movements. I'll stand to the side so you can see. We're going to come up into a bicep curl and then I'm going to press up above the head and I'm going to reverse the movement all the way back down again so my arms are both extended down by my side. I'll do that from that side so you can see. So I come up into a bicep curl and then I push up above the head. I bring back down and I'm just reversing the movement, okay? So nice and steady, pushing up over the head and then back down again, okay? Okay, you've got 20 seconds rest. Pop those down. You're going to need your chair for this one, so I'm just going to bring my chair in a little bit closer. And what I'm going to do with my chair, I've got a couple of different options. I've got a sit to stand, so that's where I start in a sitting position, arms up in front, and I come up into a standing position and sit back down again. If I want to intensify that a little bit, I can just grab the weight that I've got, hold it in front, and stand up. So for the first couple of rounds, we're just going to stick with either the body weight version of this or a weighted version. If you've got 2 hand weights, you can grab them and hold them to the sides, resting on your shoulders. If you find the seat you've got's a little bit too low, just grab a cushion and pop a cushion down on it, just to help. Okay. So we're going to pop these ones down. Your third exercise is a push-up. You may require just to put a mat down in front of your chair, just for your knees. Position your hands just outside of your shoulder range. And try and aim to bring the chest down between the hands, and then we fully extend. Make sure you're maintaining a nice flat back. So think about, have you tucked your tummy in? Are you nice and tight through the midline? If you squeeze your glutes as well, that'll help neutralize your lower spine and keep a nice rigid position to support the movement. Sending the elbows back alongside the body. 5 seconds. Brilliant. Okay, come up into standing. That's your first round done. We're now going to move on and back to the first exercise. So remember, it was a bicep curl and shoulder press. Okay, so I'm going to bring the weights up to 90 degrees. Once I get to 90 degrees, I'm going to push them up over the head and then bring them back down again. Reversing the movement. If you find the movement a little bit too complex, you could just do the shoulder press part, or if you've got any existing shoulder problems, you could just work with the bicep at the bottom. So that's entirely up to you. Okay, I'm going to do my sit to stand. So I'm going to get myself settled down to start with on the chair. I'm going to make sure that my feet are hip width apart and I'm tight through the midline. That's really important as well. I'm choosing to use both of my hand weights. Like I said, you don't have to do it with that. I'm going to rest them on my shoulders with my elbows up in front to maintain a good position. And then I'm going to come up into a standing position, squeeze my glutes at the top, and then slowly lower myself back down again. Nice and gentle. Another 10 seconds on the clock. Okay, take a rest from that one. Remember, we're going into our push-ups now. So grab your mat, pop that down for your knees. Hands go shoulder width apart. We want our elbows to be tracking back alongside our body and our chest to be coming down in between. Full extension of our arms. You don't have to be keeping up with me. If you need to do them a little bit slower, then that's absolutely fine as well. Brilliant. Okay, so we are halfway through. We've completed our second round. We're going to go back into our bicep curl and shoulder press. Remember again, as I said before, we can do this just as a bicep curl or just as a shoulder press. Okay, so bicep curl to shoulder press. Another 20 seconds. Keep it going. Into our third round of these ones. You should feel comfortable with the movement now. Okay. I'm going to set a little extra challenge on this next one for the sit to stand. For anybody who wants an extra challenge or has the ability to do that, we can do it as a single leg movement. You may need to prop yourself up a little bit higher. And we're aiming to stand up just using one leg. You can also, if you've got a little something to rest on by the side, have something to hold to help that movement. And we're standing up. For you guys who do my class over at Mooney, you would have tried to do this before, so you'll know whether you're capable of doing this. For you guys who haven't, they said you can also, if you've got a chair, push yourself up from the chair as a way of bringing yourself up. So a little push up and then carefully, slowly, but on the way back down again. If that is too much and you don't need that extra challenge today, we can just go back to both legs. So pick what's good for you. It's just there as a progression if anyone would like that today. Okay, so we're going to go back into the push-up. Mat goes down. Carefully bring myself back down onto the floor. I'm going to go in 5 seconds. And again, my chest is coming down between my hands. Make sure your elbows aren't flaring out to the sides. Make sure you feel like they're going back alongside the body. I use the analogy pushing a car. So imagine you're pushing a car. You would bring your hands in closer into your shoulders and your elbows would track back along the side of the body, not out to the side. to get the maximum force. Another 5 seconds. Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. So we've got one more round to go through. So we're going to go back to your bicep curl and press. So I'm going to get my mat out the way. So final set on these ones. Chest up nice and tall. Bicep curl to press. If I come around to the front, you can see me from the front as well. I'm pressing up as I press up. My biceps are ending next to my ears. I'm then bringing it down slowly, elbows tucked in, extension of the arm. Another 20 seconds. Okay, well done. You've completed those ones. So you can pop the weights down to the side unless you want to use them for your sit to stand. So remember, you've got different options. This is your last time. So hands out in front, you're going to stand up and then slowly lower yourself back down again. If you don't have a chair, you can do this as a squat, and that's absolutely fine. You've probably already worked that one out. And if you want to make this a little bit harder, give yourself a little bit of support and just try and stand up on one leg. Just see how you get on. You'll find one leg is easier than the other. And if you really struggle with it, but you think it's something you'd like to be able to do, it's beneficial for you to gain some bit more single leg strength, helps with your balance, then maybe this is an exercise you could bring in to a bit more of a daily routine just to help. Just do a few on each leg, but it's okay if you can't do it with single leg. We can just go back to double, not a problem. Okay, we've just got one more round of these. We've got your push-ups. Again, find something to put your knees on. Cushion can work quite well as well. We're going to go in 5 seconds. Bring that chest down and then back up again. Well done. Another 20 seconds. We've got a rest coming up before going into the second part of the workout today. Okay, brilliant. Well done. You've completed the first part of the workout today. Take a minute's rest, put some water on board, and I'll be back with you. Hey guys, welcome back. So we're going to work on another piece. It's going to take about 12 minutes. Again, it's going to be 3 exercises and we're going to do 4 rounds. It's going to be all down on the floor. So get yourselves down onto the floor in whichever way you feel comfortable. And you're going to start with an exercise that's going to be on your front and it's called a W raise. So I'm going to bring myself down onto the floor, onto my tummy. Now this could be done in a standing position if you can't get down on the floor. Arms are going to go out in front. My chest is coming off the ground, so I'm squeezing my glutes and I'm drawing my elbows back and making a W with my arms, okay? So if I come up, you can see. So as I'm bringing my arms back, I'm coming into a W position and I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, okay? As I'm dropping my elbows down in that lying position on my front. Squeezing my glutes, which helps me bring my chest off the ground. Extending the arms. Okay. 20 seconds rest. I'm going to flip myself over. And we're going to start do another abdominal piece. So this is going to be called, this is flutters. So I'm just a little movement with my feet. I'm lying down onto my back. I'm going to put my hands just underneath my glutes, helps tip my pelvis back a little bit and make it more comfortable. I'm going to point my toes and it's just a little movement, okay? So it's not big kicks and you should feel it through the lower part of the abdominal area. Little kicks, point those toes. You don't have to do it unbroken. If you need to give them a little shake off and then go back in, that's absolutely fine. Just little kicks. Keep those toes nice and pointed. Squeeze your quads. Keep those legs nice and straight for me. Little kicks. Okay, great. So the other one is a plank. So for the plank, I'm going to bring myself back over again. Now you can do a couple of different options on this one. You can do just a plank on your knees. Make sure you brace your core and you squeeze your glutes. Or you can bring yourself up onto your feet. Or if you want to spice it up a little bit more, you can bring it up onto your hands, depending if you're comfortable on your wrists in that position. And if you want to make it even spicier, you can add a little shoulder tap into it. Make your feet go a little bit wider at the back. You'll find you'll be able to maintain that position a little bit easier. The wider the base, the more stable it is. Little taps. But if it is too much, bring yourself down and hold your plank at the bottom and don't worry about the shoulder taps. Okay, we've got 10 seconds. Okay, take your 20 seconds rest and we're going to cycle through that again. So remember, we're going back into our W raise. So my chest is off the ground and I'm making that W shape with my elbows and I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together on my back. So my glutes are staying nice and locked on. That's allowing my chest to come off the ground. If I find it too difficult to hold that position, I can just drop it down a little bit, release my glutes off, and then come back in again. Another 5 seconds. Okay, flip myself over, lie myself down onto the mat. I'm going to make sure my back is firmly pressed into the mat. Again, like I said, I've got a little bit of a lower lumbar arch, so I pop my hands just underneath my glutes. It helps tilt my pelvis in the right direction and allows my back to stay nice and flat. And I'm pointing my toes, and a little kick, just a little kick. Not a big movement. I don't expect you to do it unbroken, so bring the knees in, give a little shake off, extend the legs again, and then go back in again. We've got a 25 seconds on the clock. See if you can maintain it now for the next 20 seconds. Keep those toes nice and pointed. Don't give up now. You can also do it with the legs a little bit higher if you find having them down just off the ground is not comfortable for you. Okay, give it a little shake out. Remember, we're going back into our plank. So we're going to bring ourselves over. And it's entirely up to you. I'll go through all the different options. Okay, so we've got our plank at the bottom, just on our elbows or on our knees. Both of them, make sure you maintain a nice, good, strong core throughout. We squeeze our glutes while we're in a plank. That neutralizes my lower spine. Now I'm looking for something a little bit more spicy. I put my hands underneath my shoulders and I bring myself up into what we call a high plank position. Again, making sure that my glutes are squeezed, my back's nice and flat, and I'm pushing up a little bit through the shoulder blades. And then to add the extra on, if I want to, I can do it with a shoulder tap. But if that is too much, you can just come all the way back down into that position on your knees. Okay, brilliant. Take a little rest for a minute. And we're going to go back into our W raise. So I'm coming back down to my front. I'm squeezing my glutes. I'm drawing my elbows back. Another 25 seconds. Six seconds. Okay, we're going to go into our flutters. So you're going to roll yourself carefully over onto the mat. Lie yourself down. As I said, I put my hands just underneath my glutes. I extend my legs. I'm going to squeeze my quads really, really tight and point my toes. And just a little movement. You can turn it into more of a scissor kick if you're more comfortable. Or you feel like it's too intense, keeping the legs down too low. Or we could just bring the knees into the chest and extend. It is really up to you. 5 seconds. Okay, back over for your plank. I know this is my third round, so I know I've only got one more round to do after this, so I'm actually going to bring myself up into that high plank position, make it a little bit harder for myself. I'm going to squeeze my glutes and I'm going to push up. Obviously, if you've got any existing wrist problems and you feel this position is not comfortable for you, then drop those knees down, bring yourself onto your elbows or onto your feet. But still maintain that nice tight midline and your glutes nice and squeezed. And we're pushing up between the shoulder blades to hold that rigid position. We've got 5 seconds. Okay, we've got one more round through. I hope you're as warm as I am. It's a little bit sweaty today. We've got 10 seconds. So bring yourself back down onto your mat, back into that W raise. So my feet are together, my glutes are squeezed, and I'm drawing my elbows back so I can feel my upper back working. I can feel my glutes. I should be on fire. Trying to hold myself in this position. Another 20 seconds. Last time we'll do this exercise. Nearly there, guys. Six seconds. Okay. Into your flutters for the last time. So roll that spine down onto the mat carefully and gently. Pop those hands under the glutes if it helps. Keep that back nice and flat. As I said, you can do a little movement or a big movement, or just bring the knees into the chest and extend the legs out. Could be another option. All targeting that lower abdominal and our hip area. So all beneficial. You just pick your poison with that one. Remember, second from last exercise, then we're going to have a nice stretch out. Six seconds. Okay, one exercise left into your plank. Try and pick your hardest progression with this one. So whichever one you find the most complex or the most intense. So for me, I'm going to come up into that high plank position. I'm going wider on my feet at the back so I can hold that position. I'm going to squeeze my glutes really hard to make sure I've neutralized my spine. And I'm going to transfer the weight nice and slowly to one hand to the next. And just tap my shoulder. Nothing too much. And I know I've got 20 seconds left. Just keep holding that so you can get through to the end. Again, if you're on your knees and on your elbows, keep holding that position. You're nearly there. Fantastic. Right. You guys are done on your main workout today. Thank you very much. I'm going to do a cool down with you. So I'm just going to give you a minute to mop your brow, take a bit of drink of water on, and I'll be back with you. Okay, we're going to have a nice cool down. We're going to spend a good sort of like 10 minutes just having a nice big stretch out. So first one we're going to do is a chest stretch. We're going to open up the chest and we're going to draw our shoulder blades together. I'll turn around so you can see. I'm opening up my arms as wide as I can. And I'm pulling those shoulder blades together and stretching out the front of my chest. Should feel a stretch in here where your chest muscle connects up to the top of your arm. And we're actually just going to hold this position. If you want to intensify it a little bit, you can, if you've got the ability to, bring your hands and place them into the small part of your back and push your chest out to help increase that stretch. And we're just going to hold this position. Okay, I'm going to go into a back stretch. So I'm going to put my hands together. I'm going to extend my hands out in front. I'm going to keep my lower back in a neutral position and my upper back I'm rounding forward. And this time I'm trying to open up my shoulder blades. And again, we're going to hold each one of these stretches. We've got 3 stretches and we're going to do them for a minute each, and I'm going to go through 3 times 3 with you. So a really nice good stretch to finish. Another 30 seconds on this one. Really keep reaching forward with those hands. Feel like you're hugging a big tree, as it was described once to me, or however you want to picture it, but I said you should feel your shoulder blades separating. Okay, we're going to carefully bring yourself out of that one. We're going to do a quad stretch. We're going to do 30 seconds on each side. Grab yourself something to hold on to, if you can. Grab hold of the front of your laces and pull your heel up towards your bottom and push your hips forward, chest up nice and tall. If you struggle to get into that position, please grab a towel or a band or something, pop it around your foot, and then utilize that to pull it up behind you to really help with that stretch. Another 10 seconds. Okay, carefully release yourself out of that one and you're going to swap it over to the other side. So I'm going to spin myself around. I'm going to bring my knee up in front so I can put my hand down to grab my laces and then pull my heel round to my bottom. If I want to increase the stretch, I push through the hips. And if I push my chest out at the same time, I open up, keeping my chest up tall. Another 10 seconds on this side. Okay, and release that back down again. I'm going to go back through those stretches, okay? So remember the first one was a chest stretch. So I'm opening up, nice big deep breath in, and this time I'm drawing my shoulder blades together. As I did before, if you pop your hands into the small part of your back and then push the chest forward, you'll feel more of a stretch down the arms. You can see from the front, if I turn around, see my hands are in the small part of my back. Okay, I'm going to go back into that back stretch. So again, standing position, neutral spine at the bottom, so my glutes are squeezed, and I'm just rounding my upper back. Feeling like my hands are being pulled forward by an external force. I'm trying to separate, feel like I'm trying to separate my shoulder blades. Same as before, we're holding for a minute, so just try and sort of relax into the stretch. Take a few deep breaths. You've all worked really, really hard today. Well done. Thank you for joining me. Another 25 seconds. Really try and pull that a little bit further forward. Okay, carefully bring yourself out of that one. We're going to go into our quads. So I'm going to put my hand again on something so I can balance myself. I'm going to bring my knee up in front, grab my laces, and then bring my heel to my bottom. And I'm going to hold this on 30 seconds on one side and then 30 seconds on the other. Okay, I'm going to carefully swap it onto the other side. Okay, I'm going to carefully release myself out of that one. Okay, so we're going to work through those stretches once more through. So remember the first one is your chest stretch. I'm going to put my hands into the small part of my back. I'm going to stand up nice and tall and I'm going to push forward through my chest, pulling my shoulder blades together. And I can feel that stretch all the way through the front. While I'm in this position, I'm taking some deep breaths in. Another 10 seconds. Just keep holding it. Okay, I'm going to release myself out of that one, give myself a little shake. I've just got my back stretch to do. So again, I'm extending those arms in front. Let's go for it. Separate those shoulder blades. Keep those hands linked in front of you. Like I said, think of it like an external force, trying to pull your arms out in front. Rounding that upper back. Another 20 seconds. Another 10 seconds. Okay, carefully release yourself out of that one. We've just got a minute's worth of stretching left to do. We're going to do our quads again. So I'm going to bring that leg up in front. I'm going to grab my laces and heel to bottom, chest up tall, and into our last minute. Another 10 seconds on this side. Carefully release your foot down, turn it back around onto the other side for your final 30 seconds of stretching. If you want to increase the stretch a little bit, just push those hips forward. 10 seconds to go. Brilliant, well done guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. If you've got any feedback, then please give us a message at the club, or you can message me privately through social media, and I look forward to being with you again online with Costco's Health Club. Thank you very much.